Welcome to my Bermuda escapade, where you can learn what to see and how not to go bankrupt while on vacation here. Bermuda is made up of 7 islands, 21 miles long, 1 mile wide, and it is inhabited by 65,000 people. It is a British territory, and 1 Bermudan dollar equals 1 US dollar. It was discovered in 1515, but it was populated in 1609. First, I headed to St. Georgetown. That was an original capital of Bermuda. First, I visited St. Peter's Church. It is the oldest used Protestant church in the New World. St. George is a 400 years old, beautiful town with colorful houses. Bermuda wasn't inhabited when the first settlers came here by an accident. Their ship was wrecked off Bermuda shores. It became British colony in 1707, and it is now the oldest, most populous British overseas territory. Bermuda, you need to know, is not in the Caribbean, and it is only 1.5 hour flight from New York. Here I am visiting Horseshoe Beach, one of the most beautiful beaches in Bermuda, a great spot for picturesque photos. Bermuda was formed from a volcanic mountain range. That is why it has sharp, long reefs underneath the water surface. And also that is why many ships were wrecked by them, resulting in forming of the legend about the Bermuda Triangle. There are around 300 shipwrecks around the island. The island was called the Island of the Devils because of the strange sounds heard by passing by Spanish sailors. These were the animals that inhabited the island. Here I am visiting John Smith's Beach. Much smaller beach than Horseshoe, but also with less people if you don't like crowds. If you stay by beautiful beaches, you will be far away from restaurants, and then you will need to use pretty pricey cab service to get to Hamilton or St. Georgetown. If you stay in town though, you will be away from beaches. I guess there is no win-win option here, and you will need to decide what works best for you. I decided to book my accommodation through Airbnb, which was most cost-effective option for me, and just a fraction of a hotel price. I chose a location close to John Smith's Beach, approximately 8-minute walking distance, and I was very happy with it. Here you can see the area where I stayed. Water was always a challenge for the settlers as Bermuda has no natural water resources. All houses are constructed to collect rainwater and store it in tanks underneath the houses. Here you can see the most popular plant in Bermuda, the oleander, and all the houses in the area with the right roofs and beautiful gardens. Here you can see Pink Beach Resort, close to John Smith's Beach and my accommodation. If you stay at the hotel, you have exclusive beach, private pool, and on-site restaurant with full bar. So there are definitely perks to a pricey tag on the hotel stay. As I am not a beach person and I love to explore, I booked an online tour of Crystal Caves, Aquarium, and the city of Hamilton. If you aren't on a cruise ship, the most cost-effective option to get to the tour meeting point is taking a ferry. You need to take a cab to the city of Hamilton and then take a ferry to the Royal Naval Dockyard. The ride is very enjoyable, and the tickets are only $4.50. The ferry ride is only 20 minutes, and it takes you straight to the Royal Naval Dockyard, where the tour starts. In the dockyard, I am meeting my tour guide and the rest of the group that are disembarking the cruise from New York. We are all greeted by Bermudian traditional dance called GOMBEYS. The tour starts with going over the smallest bridge on the island.
What was that? Hibiscus.
Hibiscus.
That was the hibiscus. And that comes in different colors as well. You can find the hibiscus in white and yellow and pink. Comes in beautiful colors as well.
And now another surprise. Rothschild's mansion on the way. $14 million. 40. After 20 minutes ride, we are arriving at the Crystal Caves. A tour not to be missed when you are in Bermuda. You have to be pretty careful when going down the cave. It's quite dark and slippery on the way.
Teenage boys between the age of 13 and 14 years old, and one day they were playing cricket, and one of the boys hit the ball into the trees. When the boys went to go look for the ball, they found the hole. So the boys did what just about any teenage boys would do. They went home. They got some rope and a kerosene lantern. The boys came back to the hole. They tied that rope around a tree, and they came down into the deep, dark unknown. Right? You can hold or touch just to get a feeling of how dense and how heavy they are. Would anybody like to hold it?
You do.
Yeah.
I know you do.
I should warn you, it's not exactly a small piece. Say it's around 50, 55 pounds. I heard my arm crack.
While declining health of coral reefs is a concern around the world, Bermuda's reefs are in a very good shape, thanks to strict protective laws. There is wide variety of fish, plentiful sea turtles, and as I mentioned before, Bermuda is the shipwreck capital of the Atlantic, as it has the most shipwreck per mile than anywhere else in the world. So it is a perfect spot for people who love snorkeling. Don't miss it. Have a look what is hiding behind me. A little bit scary, no?
To get into the capital. And it took several years to complete this project. They used prisoners and slaves to cut this road through. But after on August 1st, 1834, they abolished slavery here in Bermuda.
And now we are on the way to the Hamilton City, the capital of Bermuda.
The main bus terminal over there to the left of us with the white canopies. We're going down to Front Street. On the left will be Flanagan's, if anybody wants to go to the Irish pub. On the left, you see the black sign down there with Go Riding Flanagan's. Right down there, Go Riding, that's Flanagan's. We're gonna take this right turn. Anybody want to sit off at Pickled Onion for lunch and eat? And try one of Bermuda's national drinks, the dark and stormy or the Bermuda rum swizzle. It's right here. This is Pickled Onion Restaurant right here on the right.
The capital was moved in 1815 from St. George to Hamilton when the town became too small for the booming business. The islands of Bermuda are named after Juan de Bermudez, who claimed the islands for Spain in 1503 but never landed here. As I mentioned before, Bermuda is a very expensive island with an average home price of $1 million. When I was on my way to Bermuda, I wondered who lived there. So the island was populated first by British settlers and slaves of African origin. Then also Portuguese and Spanish people came. Today, Bermuda has multiracial demographics. And now is the time for traditional drink Bermuda Swizzle and some lunch in Pickled Onion. I also had a very good dinner in BOLERO restaurant. To sum up, I really enjoyed Bermuda vacation with its turquoise water, yellow pinkish beaches, pristine nature, very kind people, and great weather in October. Leave a comment and subscribe for my next travel adventures. Thank you.